It's World Series time. I'm so gosh darn excited. My things are all packed up. My car engine's ignited. No degenerates around. Professionals abound. It's a true competition. I don't want to mess around. Everyone knows that this time is special. No one can tell you why. Bars and gas and face and pissed himself. Blast in the crowd. He got kicked out for raising hell. Russ Hamilton in varsity geese his banner fell. World Series on. Man, I can't wait to go. Since you know seats are always ready. Courageous men with remix in the ladies' game. 100 Carter Gillis is allowed to play. World Series on. Man, I can't wait to go. Man, I can't wait to go. Such a blast. The days go by so fast. Well, there goes Tatty Tats. Everybody's neck goes spastic. What's up, Poker Cat? You look fanny-packtastic. The Amazon's so lively. I'm looking out for Ivy. You stake me in the main. I'll sell some pieces. Someone buy me. Everyone knows that this time is special. No one can tell you why. Let's go food and some side super satellites. Sell some jars in the hall by the bathroom lines. Kessler's vouchers, $3 each and eat tonight. World Series on. Man, I can't wait to go. It's on fire on ESPN. Poker News got chickens for the seniors events. The tandem hundreds of six of the overhead. World Series on. Can't wait to go. Man, I can't wait to go. Having lost the physical, mental, or moral qualities considered normal and desirable, showing evidence of decline. An immoral or corrupt person to deteriorate physically, mentally, or morally. Man, I can't wait to go. I got t-shirts, I got 12 for free. Staring at cameras, sound like a legend scream. I'm on the run from the prohibition by the police. World Series on. Man, I can't wait to go.
Good morning, Sherry. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Had a fun evening. Got some sleep. Tried to get to Vegas and failed miserably.
Why did you fail?
Well, I just like flights at the right time and no rental cars at the. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The rental cars were $200, and then I'm like, I don't really want, because if I drive my car up there, then I have to drive back. So I don't know. And I have a pass that I can take Frontier Airlines.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So, what hotel would you stay at? I mean, would it Uber be an option?
Yeah, I have a Hilton. I have a thing with them that I can get really good rates.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I could, once I got there, I could take an Uber, but I couldn't get a flight. So
Well, bummer. If you were on earlier, you could have caught up with Mr. Keating. He was offering Veronica a seat on a private jet this morning, so you may have been able to hook up.
oh my goodness, I just need to stay on a little longer with him.
Right?
Oh my goodness, I even looked at going out to Burbank or something. I don't know. Well, anyway,
Yeah,
I missed my private jet.
you did.
That would have been a-okay. I like that they have a Jet Suite X that's kind of semi-private. That's nice to fly because you go through those corporate executive
Right.
terminals where you just like walk on the plane. It's so easy. So
So nice.
yeah, that's really good. So today the bracelet events, day 12 of the World Series of Poker. 10 a.m. is the, as we all know, this is Groundhog Day, Flight D of the $300 Gladiators tournament. 12 p.m., They're going to have the day 3 of the 1K PLO 8-handed. And then also at 12 o'clock is day 2 of the 50K. And we'll get to that in a few
Right.
minutes. 1 p.m. is the $1,500 bad. Oh my goodness, bad doogie. I don't know why I can't say
Badoogie.
bad
Badoogie.
bad doogie, bad doogie. I don't know. Anyway, day 4 of that event, so they're getting down to the end of that, and then the 1 p.m. 10K limit hold'em is on day 3, as I said, at 1 p.m. $1,500 Raz, day 2 of that is at 1 p.m. And our buddy Alan Kessler is kicking some butt
Okay,
in
I want to
that.
stop you for a minute. Actually, the Badoogie tournament is going into day 4. The tournament director called time last night because they just couldn't get it done and accomplished. So it's actually going to be a day 4 today for that Badoogie tournament.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that really did catch my eye with it being day 4, because you wouldn't expect them
Right?
to need a day 4. But anyway, 2 p.m. is the 10K Omaha High Low 8 or better event. So, and then, you know, and I know you'll mention this as well as we go, with this being Saturday with the Gladiators, I would not count on the 1 p.m. deep stack. We'll see about the rest of the day,
Right.
but I would think, I mean, Kev Math has it listed here still. I think he's being optimistic.
Yeah, and they have, let's
So,
just put it this way, they haven't canceled it yet. So it is on the schedule, but chances are it's going to be the first to go. It'll be the casualty of the big numbers, right? So just keep your ear to the ground and your nose to Twitter, and you'll see the announcement if it happens.
yeah, and as we get more into the evening, I think we might be okay,
Oh,
but
yeah. Yeah.
certainly like the 7 p.m. 580 mega, they'll probably find a table for that has 5K and chips, and then the 8 p.m. deep stack is probably almost certainly to run, I
Yeah,
think.
I don't think they'll have an issue by then. Um, I think they'll be fine on dealers by that time of day, and should be good to go on that one.
Yeah, exactly. So do you want to do any of the non are you actually, let's go ahead and go through the
Well,
updates.
let
How's that?
me make a couple of house cleaning announcements first, if you don't mind. One, yesterday I alluded to an article that I was looking at for information about John Sanudo. And I wanted to give credit to that writer who was Eric Fast. And his article was published on June the 5th, 2020. And the title of that article was All Time Tournament Cashes Leader Miami John Sanudo discusses his storied career. So I just wanted to give that writer credit for that information and that article. Also, yesterday I forgot to make my daily reminders, so now it's an almost daily reminder about pictures you should take when you're at the WSOP, and take one with Brian and take one with me and Barry and anyone else you see, but you definitely want to make sure you take the following pictures that will be informational for yourself. And one would be a picture of every entry ticket, including all of your day 2, 3, etc. tickets, so that you always have a photo of your entry tickets. The next would be a picture of your chip stack before leaving the table on a break. That way you can double check if there's been a color up to make sure that it was done correctly. Your table number before you leave the table, take a picture of it. Not the dealer, because dealers change, but your table number. And then the fourth suggestion would be a picture of your car in its parking spot. So you have parking information when you're ready to leave at 4 a.m. and you're like, where's my car? You'll have a picture of where your car is. So those are just some housekeeping things. I wanted to just check off the list of things to do today. So we can get on with the action that was part of, what day are we in? Day 12
11, day
of
11.
events. Um,
Yeah, day 11.
well, I'm going to say that the WSOP marks it as day 12, but I think it's our day as a, let's call it for, just looser terms, our broadcasting may be day 11, but I really think it's day 12 of the WSOP, but it don't matter. Let's talk.
I think, listen, I think Kev Math called it. Let me see. Oh, you're right. I'm
Oh,
wrong
there he goes checking
again.
me again. But you did
I'm gonna update the
you did
title
catch
here.
me
12.
once not have the right information, so I never will be mad that you checked me. I may goof around about it,
There
but
we
I'm
go.
never mad about it.
Yeah, thank you. I
I
appreciate it too.
appreciate you. So on to event number 18, I guess would be the one we left off on, as far as what's going on in the world, um, of multiple day tournaments. So yesterday, event 18, which is the Gladiator, $300 buy-in, had 5,110 entries. So now that tournament has over 14,600 entries going into today, day 4, or 1D. So that, Brian, I think the number is going to end up between your and Raj's guesses, somewhere between 20 and 25,000. Um,
Wow.
it's incredible, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
yeah, so we had Richard Gale moving on into day 2 as a chip leader from the 1C flight of that tournament, and he has 3,100,005 in chips. You have anything to add to that?
I don't. I was on another page here.
That's okay.
Apologize
No, no,
there.
no. I just like to give you, because sometimes a fun fact or two, and I never want to cut that information off or you. So,
I'm back with
okay,
you
that's
now.
okay. No worries. I just think that I want to say I might know and I didn't have time to look it up because I caught up in some other space this morning, but I think the number 8 stack from yesterday's flight, William Roulette. For some reason, I want to say I know this guy, and I didn't have a chance to look it up, but good luck to him if it's who I think it is, and all the other runners. And Lindsey Jones is in the top 10, with 2.4 million in chips. So there is a lady in the top 10 of stacks for that flight.
Oh, this is for the
Right,
gladiators.
right. Yep.
Okay, yeah. And remember, we still have Negreanu in there. Interested to see where he's at with other events. So as we go into day 2 tomorrow, it's going to be interesting. Melanie Weisner finishing with 1.625 million yesterday in
So
that,
she's right
and she's
outside the top
20,
10.
21st. One of the
Yeah.
funnest tables I've ever been at. Melanie was at. We
Oh,
were just cracking up. Just giving people a hard time in the main event. Both of us were kind of relaxed, having a good time, and we let everybody else do the stressing at the table. So it was pretty
I
funny.
love it. I love it. It's awesome when you could be so comfortable in what's going on that you could just purely enjoy what you're doing. I mean,
Yeah, you're there to have a good time.
yeah.
I mean, if you get the chance to play the main event, like make sure that you have a good time, like don't have regrets. Play your game, play good. Hope you don't get lucky. I mean, hope you do get
Yeah.
lucky. Hope you don't get unlucky.
For the
um
record, I love it when I get
yes.
lucky, but that's a whole nother
Yeah.
subject. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'd rather be lucky than good, right?
Yes.
That's
So
the
we should move
reality.
on to event number 19, which was the $2,500 dollar buy-in no limit freeze out. It had 1,137 runners for the day, and they are they were able to finish off that tournament, and I was kind of dozing off at the moment of victory. Um, but Valentino Kornachev, I
I think that's
it's
close
pretty
enough.
close. And Andres Korn were heads up. And it was really just a fun event to watch. I watched a good part of it. Did you watch any of that?
So I went to turn it on, and it was over.
Oh,
So it
gotcha.
must have gotten over fairly early.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
But and then I restarted it, but it's on pause like 5 minutes in.
I hear you.
I got stuck in a Twitter space. Brad's Twitter space, by the way, like it was really good last
Awesome.
night. I do want to give him a shout out because he definitely um, did his best to make sure people are aware of what we're doing here, and I really enjoyed. We had probably 2 solid hours at least of just really good poker talk, so that was
And
kind of cool to they do.
I just appreciate him. And he knows it. I just appreciate him
He's
and what he's doing, not only on Twitter Spaces. I think he does a great job, but in his Twitch channel, I've joined it several times. He's doing a great job there.
Well, it's cool. It's cool. Like, Alan Keating jumped in, and and I think he might have wanted to change his name to Fanboy. So
Oh,
he was like, he was definitely like, a little starstruck. He was like me with Marcel Loose.
well, and that's what
You
it's all
know.
about, isn't it? The opportunity
Yeah. Yeah.
to speak with some of those folks that we've admired from afar, and I
Oh
think
yeah.
it's
It's really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. So Valentino actually got to take home $435,924, and Andres, who was the first loser, took home 269,438. So great job, gentlemen.
Some cash, and the top three all are former bracelet winners, or
Right,
yeah.
right.
So that's pretty impressive too.
Very.
Just going back through the field, that's all you see. And then Zuan Zhu finished ninth, and actually I don't know how to say it, Jiang Zhu or
Jingzhou.
something to that
Yeah, I
effect.
think it's
And he was the chip leader coming into day two, or coming into the final day here. So a little bit disappointing to come in ninth after that, but you know how these things go at the end, especially if one person suddenly becomes a card rack, then you're in big trouble.
absolutely.
So
The tough part's getting to the final table. If you get the luck at the final table, you are invincible, right?
yeah, for sure.
Let's move on to event 20. Um, was day three start off for the $1,500 Badoogie. 13 awesome players started the day, and it went so long that they're forced to a day four today. And I want to say that there are three remaining going into. No, wait, I have that confused with a different tournament.
Yeah,
Third,
there's
fourth.
14.
No,
No,
that's not right.
sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. There's four remaining
Four
in
remaining.
this.
Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information we're trying to decipher and deliver.
No, you're all good.
So today they will go into day four with four remaining, and Yingyu Li of China is leading the chip stacks with 4.9 mil, but Michael Rodriguez from Portugal is not very far behind. He has 4.6 um, million in chips. And then here we go with a lovely name I'm going to butcher, Serhai. I think it's Serhai
Popovich.
Popovich has
Popovich.
3.35 million. So they're very close in chip stacks. And one,
Yeah, and one thing I want to say about this, Sherry, is if you look back in the field there on day three, they're taking out three bracelet winners: David ODB Baker, Owasa Ahmed, and Danny Tang. So so that wasn't, and then Matt Vengren as well. So, a pretty stacked field as you would expect for one of these
Absolutely.
off the wall games.
Absolutely. A tough field for sure. And, hats off for those that navigated through it and, got in the money in a big way. And so it'll be kind of fun. I'm hoping I can watch this tonight, but I'm going to a poker game. So I don't know if they'll have it on or not, but I'm hoping to.
and, and our chip leader, even though he has, looks like it says here, and I always question these numbers on Poker News because they've been off a little bit, but shows him with 800,000, and the chip leader with 800,000 in earnings, and his best finish in any event listed here is 12th. So, with 4 left, this is, a dream come
It's
true, I'm
awesome.
sure.
It is absolutely awesome. Well, we can move on to reported the day 2 of event 21, which was the $1,000 pot limit Omaha eight-handed. The final 117 entrants began the day. The starting field for that tournament was 2017. And by the end of the night, there was 13 remaining. And that 13, of course, will meet again today at the table. And Stephen Nam from Canada is the chip leader with 98 big blinds or 9.7 million. And Ronald, is it Keizer?
Uh, Keijer, yeah, probably
Yeah,
Keizer or
from
something.
the
Yeah.
Netherlands, is behind him in second place with 5.9 million. And oh my
And he
God,
has,
how
and Ronald has one bracelet as well,
awesome.
so a
And
previous
how
bracelet holder.
amazing is this name? Thomas Taylor is in third
Wow.
place with 5.34 million. I mean, 5.3 million. And I joke at the lack of being able to pronounce names. That's why I think that name is so easy for me. So, third,
I started to think it was the guy that won the big event last week in the bounty, because I can't
his
remember
name
what
was
his name was, but
Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown.
Tyler Brand.
Another,
Okay, I knew there. It sounded like there were T's. Maybe it was the T's that got me confused
well,
there.
we just love that they're easy names for us because, I'm challenged in
So
that.
bracelet winners left in this: Dan Matsuki and Mike Gorninsky. So Mike is towards the back of the pack with 930,000. Compared to the chip leader's 9.75 million. So he's obviously got some work to do, but
Right.
Anyone with a decent chip stack can get it done. That's going to put a lot of pressure, though, right? Because if you look at 13th place is 700,000, and then even up to 8th place is 1.3 million. So that's a pretty tight pack there.
Right.
And I would expect that, Stephen Nam and Ronald and your buddy Taylor are going to be able to put a lot of pressure on these other stacks. I haven't looked at how the tables line up yet,
I haven't either.
but yeah, but you would just expect, like, if you have a big stack headed to the end, this is a dream come true. Let me just look at the payouts here. For 13th is 15,700, and up to eighth place, where I said that whole like pack
Right.
is,
Right.
that would double the money of the next payout. It would pay out more than double of $31,772. So those people are going to be facing a lot of pressure, and then obviously you've got a long way to go. So with 13 left, so if you're in one of these positions here at the bottom and you can double up and get out of that pack, now you can start putting the pressure on the short stacks and really
100%.
exploit that. So it's always, you always feel two ways about that. I guess any day that you're walking in for, what is this, a day 4 or day 3, whatever.
Right.
Um, any time that you're walking in for that, you feel blessed. But like, if you can just get above that bottom of the pack there, and kind of be able to carefully put some pressure on the shorter stacks, then you can really set yourself up and
Well, and
that sort of
let's
thing.
face it, going into that day 3, 1 of 13 is not a bad gig, is it?
Yeah, and I would say this too, Sherry, is that, like, let's look at Mike, right? Mike Gordinski, great player, 2 World Series bracelets, 930,000. If he were to double, he moves himself out of that pack. He's up around 2 million now,
Right.
and and then he can really pressure these 700,000 chip stacks, and 800, and that sort of thing. So obviously, you never know. You've got to really figure out what the goals of the people are in that position. If you're playing like a Phil Hellmuth, or who popped to my mind, even though he doesn't play tournaments, a guy like Alan Keating, where the money doesn't matter. He would be going for the win here, I'm sure.
Right. Right.
So he's not going to have that ICM pressure that other players have, and I think that you always just got to be aware of that. And then I would also say the reality of, you see these people with their charts and theories of like things that I'm saying here, but then everything goes out the window when the guy sits down and he's, you know 6 vodka tonics in, and and he's like, okay, I guess
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
abandon that plan.
Well, we can move on to event 22 on that note, which
Yeah.
was the 10K No Limit Championship.
No,
Uh,
the no limit championship is the main event. This is the 10K limit hold'em
I
champion.
keep why do I keep saying that when I read that? It's just a mental block that I'm just looking so forward to the main event that everything that's 10K is the main
it
event.
might be because who your chip leader is there,
It may
Sherry.
be. It may be. So let's talk about that, shall we?
Yeah.
There are it drew this tournament drew 134 entries, and even on late reg, there were 30 players that jumped in at late reg, like right at the deadline. So that's kind of interesting. The final 14 will return today at 1 p.m. And um, you know what? Josh Aria, Joe McKeon are neck and neck, aren't they? So Joe McKeon is our chip leader, and Josh Aria, they don't put this in order. Josh Aria is in second place. So
Yeah,
it's
one
amazing.
Joe McKeon in first with 1.45445 million, and then Josh has 1.170. But look at who's in third: Nick Schulman with 900,000.
I
Kevin,
know, and you know what? If he can pull this off, that's going to catapult him in Player of the Year points. Because
100%.
right now he is number 10 in Player of the Year points. So that's got lots of great implications for him.
How many points does he have there, Sherry?
Player of the Year points, he has 1,166.69.
And
And
what?
Chad, who is still in first place, has 2,153.07.
Yeah, it would be probably pretty close to him
Yeah.
taking over the lead.
Yeah, it'll be
Definitely going to
definitely.
be
Yeah.
tight.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. And I
and
don't want to skip over the fact that Ronnie Bardaw is also in there
let's go.
with 475,000 in chips. So a lot of great players, a lot of great poker to be had still in that tournament, which returns today at 1 p.m. You got anything else?
Yeah, obviously that field is still really stacked. Kevin Song, with one bracelet, Daniel Idema, with 3 bracelets. Ronnie Bardaw, as you said, Ben Yu with 4, and then Matayoshi Akamura.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
Can't say it. One
Sorry.
time, he's a one-time bracelet winner with 385,000. Got some work to do on that front. So, but again, you know, if you're in there, you have a chance. I mean, look at our day one chip leader is down to 13th or so with 255,000. Um, so what a difference a day can make for the
Right. And
better and for the worse.
there's only 14 returning. So you know what?
Yeah,
Day 3 is going to be a fun day for all those that are work so hard to get there. So good luck to them.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
For sure. Now, event number 23 was the 50K high roller 8-handed. There was 111 players on this day one. Included some big names for sure. Going into day 2, um, I'm sorry,
44, I think I saw.
um,
45 left.
45. Thank you. 45 going into day 2 with, do you know how to say it? Tahal
Well,
Shirachi?
yeah,
Shikarachi?
Tahal's in second place. Yeah,
Yep. And
with 1.688 million, and then
and go
Justin
ahead.
Bonomo in first with just over 2 million in chips. But listen, here's the thing, Sherry. My guy Chance Corneth, 3-time bracelet winner. I got to listen to some of his strategy and live read kind of
Right.
stuff at the main event final table one year, and I'm never after hearing that, I'm
Never
never
ruling him
counting
out.
him out. Yeah, I'm always gonna root for Chance. Just the other thing too is he's just an easy guy to root for. Like, just super nice,
Yes.
kind guy. I don't know that he. I mean, maybe don't say it if he has, but I don't remember any kind of crazy controversy the guy's been in. Carries himself really well always, and just a solid dude. And then
I've always rooted for him. He's always been one of my favorites. And you have Justin Bonomo as the chip leader today, and his accomplishments speak for themselves, don't they? And
yeah, it's really crazy. I remember, now we're all, in our 40s and 50s and that sort of thing. But man, going back to Poker Stars, like Justin was like, I think he got busted for playing underage on there or whatever, got his account canceled or something. I don't know.
yeah, there
But
was
like he was,
something about that.
I,
Yeah.
I remember him just being like a kid, Z Justin, and so
Yeah, it's kind of fun when you go back to watch some of those old episodes of whatever Poker Nights in America, or Poker Go, or further back the WSOP or whatever. It's so funny how young these guys and ladies look. It's kind of mind-boggling, and it's kind of a time capsule that you forget you're on, right? That you're like, um you forget that we're all aging until you go back and look at some of that film, and you're like, wow, he was like 20. He was actually 20 or
yeah.
19.
Yeah, it's really crazy. And then the craziest thing back then was, you'd play with Justin or whoever all year long, and you never met him, and then next thing you know, you're at the World Series, and you're hanging out, or like, it's just really weird to like get to know people that way. And then, next thing you know, you're playing, you're like, you're meeting them in person and all that. That's where the whole summer camp thing got started. It really did feel like an adult summer camp where you get to, um, meet people that but like, make new friends and that sort of thing. So this field, obviously is still pretty stacked. Eric Seidel just went out in 50th. There's 48 left. But if you look through here, Kristen Foxen, Chad Evsledge, Ike Caxton coming off a win yesterday.
Yep.
Dominic Nietzsche, Julian Martini, Chris Hutchinson. I'm sorry, Chris. Let's just call it Big Hooney, right?
Right.
Christoph Volslang. Oh my goodness, that guy he's like the slow guy, right? I can't deal with that. Brad Wisbrod, Vlad Deary, Espen Yorstan, Tyler Corneli. I'll skip that guy because he is an alleged cheater. Dan Smith, Danny Tang, John Hennigan, Michael Monsek, Brian Kim. I mean, just like crazy. Alex Foxen is in here, and like I said, Chance Corneth, Sam Sorvell at the top with Justin Bonomo, Chris Brewer, and just like you would expect, a pretty stacked field. But on the other side of that, a lot of big names already eliminated in this thing too. So
well, it's deep, isn't it? And it has been deep, and it's going to be a great finish. And who's going to get those Player of the Year points?
yeah, and with Justin up top, man, like he's you obviously have to figure he's the favorite here, but a lot of play left to go. So,
And you just can't rule out, Chris Brewer, or
for
Alan
sure,
Foxen, or Chance. I think it's going to be great competition. That's for sure. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah,
Moving on to event 24, which was the event that Brian and I are both going to learn how to play better by next year, so we can get into
there
the
you go.
second annual RAS tournament at the WSOP. It was a $1,500 buy-in, 556 entries. And I'm just kidding. It wasn't the very first RAS tournament, by the way. There are 170 moving on to day 2 with Maxim Pizarenko, who has bagged the most chips for the day at 251,500. Not too far behind him is Velis Lazaru with 223,000 in chips. So the restart is today on that tournament. Should be fun.
And isn't Alan still in this one?
Oh, you know what? He may be.
Let me look
You
here.
may be right about that. He may be still left in that one.
Let me see here, Kessler. I think that's the one he was in because he came into the space last night and he was saying that he needed to use his he needed to hurry and use his money up. He had some free play. He needed
Oh,
to get it spent before midnight or something.
before the date
Okay,
changed.
so Alan has 92,500 in chips headed into day 2. And that's at 1 p.m. as we said earlier. So 92,000. That's got to place him pretty good. I'm in the. Let me see where that places him. I'm on the second page here.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, where did we go? Let me go back. I'm sorry about that,
That's
Sherry.
okay. No
So
worries, bud. No worries.
yeah, 92,000 places him. Yeah, he wouldn't have a bracelet winner thing next to it. No, I'm just kidding. That's a slight dig. I'm just kidding. I love Alan.
I love it.
57th place. So hopefully, always rooting for Alan to get it done. That would be amazing.
It would be amazing, and
Yep.
good luck to him and everyone else that's left in that field today, for sure. Let's look at the Player of the Year. There
Yep.
hasn't been much change to that list since yesterday. Chad is still our number one guy, with Tyler in second and Brian Yoon in third. But I'll tell you who moved into fourth, bumping Isaiah Caxton down to fifth, is Jim Colapi. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Colapi?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I hate mispronouncing people's names. And Nick Schumann moved into 10th place. So that's a little bit of movement.
Well, and he's deep in that other event too. So I think it was the one with 13 left. He's
Yep.
in like fourth or something like that. So expect him to be moving up the list quite a bit. And that one was like the 10K or something, right?
Right.
The 10K
Or
limit
was it the
hold'em.
25? Wait, let me go back and look. I just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's the 10K limit hold'em.
It was the
Yeah,
10K limit hold.
he's in third in that with Josh Arieh and Joe McKeon above him, but I mean, like he's got to
He's
be like
right there.
pretty. I wouldn't want to play him in limit hold'em. No, thank you. I would skip that. I mean, it's
Oh,
just
you're
such a,
so funny.
like limit hold'em seems to me to be much more math than I mean, everything's somewhat feel, but you have these really pretty clear spots and things like that. You know, be more so than in no limit. In no limit, you can kind of go out of the box, right? At any time,
Right.
you can shove all your chips in and then the grid, the you can break the raise fold grid, so to speak. You can take the GTO
You can
guy
take
and just
control. You can take
yeah,
control.
you can just blend his brains out there on in the hand, and he won't know what to do. But in limit, like
Uh,
you're just stuck, right? What can you do? Check raise somebody,
right.
So a lot more math there, and I think that in hearing his commentary, obviously super intelligent guy that knows the game, maybe certainly one of the top 5-10 players in the world. So
Right.
I wouldn't want to play him and limit hold'em. Probably out of any events. I don't know. Like maybe he's a big mixed game person, but just the way he talks, he would definitely be somebody I would fear. So
Well, maybe you could just be his good luck charm.
yeah, and I'm saying this as somebody that really doesn't like to play limit hold'em very much. So it's also my lack of experience in the game. But listen, I know that Ronnie has a ton of experience. I know
Yes.
in cash, a lot of times he's playing limit hold'em when he's not like playing with me at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning, calling my river bluff with ace high and sending me on the road back to California with no money in my pocket.
Oh my God. We're not bitter here. We are not
Yeah,
bitter here.
I'm
We're not
still
telling bad beat stories either.
I'm still getting therapy. No, I deserved the beat, Sherry. I
Oh,
definitely deserved the beat. So
you're
for
so
sure.
funny. I just admire your willingness to talk about it and make fun of it. And
Yeah,
that's what life is about. But I wanted to cover, we kind of went over it yesterday a little bit, but I kind of wanted to cover it a little bit more in preparation for the main event coming here in a couple of weeks. First, and we've talked about this several times, um, if the WSOP has a record breaker attendance to the main event, then they're going to give away a main event seat. Well, let me go back. Everybody who registers for the main event this year will be put into a drawing. The person whose name is drawn will win a seat to the main event for the next 30 years of their life, which is amazing. And the magical number we have to beat for entrance to make that happen is 8,663 people, which, what do you think? We going to beat it?
for sure. I think. I
I
mean,
did too.
I'm not gonna pay anybody any money if we don't, but I would say if somebody doesn't think we're gonna make it, I probably would be willing to lay some money on it.
You know
For
what? And I
almost,
lied.
almost
I,
certainly.
I absolutely lied. It's actually 8,773.
Oh, that's it. I'm out, Sherry.
Yeah, we're never going to beat that.
We're never beating that. If anybody has any questions, by the way, feel free to press the request button and come up, and we can talk about anything. We like to open this kind of up with
Right.
a little more formal overview of things that are going on, but definitely willing to take questions on poker topics and things like that. But
Yeah, join us. Press that button and join us, please. We'd love to have you. I'm just going to continue on with the information about the main event.
yes,
Because we talked about like the days it's happening, how many days it is, and last year I believe it was a 9-day spread. But this year on July 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, those will all be day ones of the main event starting at 12 p.m. Day 7 is going to be the day 2 for flights A, B, and C. July the 8th is going to be day 2 for the D flight only. Then on July the 9th, it's going to be a restart for all of the day tours from those 4 flights. So I know we talked about that yesterday. I just kind of wanted to go over it so maybe those that were curious would get a better idea of how that worked.
yeah, that's obviously always and you're going to be in town, right, during the main.
I will be in town for just the beginning of the main unless something crazy great happens and then I change my plans. But I'm supposed to leave on July the 4th.
I'm going to be there. I'm for surely going to be there, whether I'm playing or not. We'll see, but definitely I'll be there. So we'll definitely get together and
For sure.
hello. Veronica, good morning, my friend.
Good morning. I'm driving to Vegas. I'm going to late reg the Gladiator today. But again, I want to echo what I've been saying. I'm a big fan of your software and Sherry. I think the two of you are like a really good pair. I'm loving these World Series of Poker updates. Sherry, it's so cute when you say people's names wrong. As a thank you for both of your contribution to this community, I'd love to take the two of you out for dinner when you guys get here. On me. I'll get you guys drunk if you want wine, but I just want to thank you guys for doing this. I'm actually I'm a huge fan of yours, both of you. And Sherry is the perfect co-host. I love the balance. Both of you are really knowledgeable with what's going on and giving us updates. And I really much like what you guys are doing.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
So appreciative to hear that from you. It's really an honor for sure.
Thank you.
How far
Veronica.
out are you, Veronica?
How what? How what am I?
How
far am I?
How far away are you from Vegas?
I'm less than an hour from the house that I'm renting with a bunch of friends, and I'm gonna go get ready and then head on over to the series. But when you guys are coming here, I'm here. I'm in Vegas till that weekend after the 4th of July. So whenever you two are available, I'd love to take both of you out.
Oh, that's very nice.
We should go to Carbone. Seriously, I don't. Have either of you two gone to Carbone?
I have not.
I have not been there yet. No.
So let's go there. It's like an experience. It's such a beautiful restaurant. The food's great. I love going there. So I'd love to take the two of you there for your first time.
Well, I love you so much, and I appreciate the support that you've given me over the last couple of weeks of us trying to do something positive in the poker world and some of that stuff that's been in the negative. And I just appreciate you and your kind words. And I can't wait to have dinner with you.
Yes.
Me too. Yeah, you guys. I might tell you some backstage Hustler Casino $1 Million Cash Game stuff too. I might spill some beans secretly to you two. But you gotta. What happens at dinner? What happens at dinner stays at dinner.
Stays at dinner.
Hell yes, I'm in.
But most importantly, Veronica, you need to run up a stack.
I don't want anyone to get to think I'm being serious. So that was kind of a joke, people.
Of course.
Don't want to violate the NDAs.
No, I had nothing bad to say about that hosting job. I had the best time. It was like the absolute most amazing event I've been a part of. So,
I'm going to tell you, it was very evident to know that those words are very true, because you could tell you were just enjoying being in the moment, and that made it more enjoyable for us.
I think that, Veronica, that's important. I was talking, Nick was on last night. We were talking about a lot of different things. And one of the things I was saying is when you're producing content, if you're doing it because you love it, you like it, and that kind of thing, then it's going to go somewhere. If you're just doing it because you want to make money or whatever your motivations are, and really that applies to any job, right? If you're doing any kind of job it's like just for the money or whatever, then you're never going to be as satisfied with it, and you're never going to produce as good of a quality product as if you're doing it because you love it. And definitely saw that with you doing that for HCL for sure.
Do you mind if I get on a little bit of a soapbox here, a little bit of a
Please.
rant?
I hope so.
And it kind of goes with the theme of, like Eden was calling multiple women old ladies, and I'm 46, and it's ironic because Eden looks older than everyone else. But anyway, besides that, Hustler Casino gave me an opportunity. They could have picked a 22-year-old. They could have done all that, but Hustler gave me an opportunity and looked at my body of work and didn't say, oh, well, you're too old, because that's not the way the world works. The world wants what's good, and whoever has the best product for what they need. And so people like Eden, who judge women or people based off of their age or their looks or whatever, that's like basically that's him talking about his own insecurities. That's not a reflection of the true industry, because the industry doesn't care about your age. I got an opportunity where, I normally wouldn't, or according to like someone like Eden,
Well, it's a very kind community of people that want to help people out, and but that it's just like Josh was talking about. He was going to give him a free roll, and then all of a sudden he found he was talking crap about him, and that free roll was over. And I think that that's the most important thing, is that people recognize when they when they have somebody that's taking advantage of you, so to speak. And there just isn't any, ultimately, there isn't any control over that. I felt kind of bad for Fanboy yesterday. I was taking a lot of heat because, he was buying the drinks or whatever and that kind of thing. And it's like, no, nobody's to blame except for the person that's, their actions. It's their actions, not anybody else.
Yeah, and like just to like tie up the loose ends here. Sherry is so good in these spaces. Sherry's very informative, and I'm not dismissing you software when I say this, but I specifically want to talk about Sherry because of her being like, it's very frustrating to me that she got attacked by him because she was supportive of him. But Sherry's value is I can understand Sherry's value. I think that there's a lot of value in what she gives us in these spaces and these updates and within our poker community. And I think like most people would agree with me in that. And just his ugly comments about the women who are contributing to our community are just like disgusting to me, and I want to have no part in it.
Yeah, I was done the second I heard that, and I almost didn't call in, just because I haven't, since I was on with you, Veronica, that day when I kind of called in and lit the match, so to speak. Well, I think there was already a fire brewing, but anyway, I've walked away from it because it's just not something that I think that I don't want to be a part of it. It's not something that I want to put in my brain all day and that kind of thing. And it doesn't end well because there's no, somebody said last night about the idea that he would wake up in the morning feeling shame. And I said, no, he doesn't see it at all. If he did, then he'd at least have somebody that was close to the bottom, but there's a long way to go. And I for myself, I don't want to be on that train, So, and by the way, Veronica, I totally know I am the weak link here.
Oh,
Sherry is the awesome, the awesomeness.
well, I appreciate y'all, and if I could, I'd carry you around in my pocket all day long, so y'all can just keep whispering those sweet notes to me. But thank you for the very kind words, and the support, because I do this because I just want to do it. I love it. I want to be involved in poker. I want to help other people in poker and support their efforts and celebrate our women who are trying to break some of those ceilings, and bring more women in, just from the home game. They may play home games and bring them in, so we can meet them and have some fun with them. So I really appreciate the support first and foremost and the kind words. So thank you.
I was going to say I saw that crying face and I thought, Sherry, you better not do, because I'll bitch slap you. I just want to say I've noticed we pro in here, and I just want to say congratulations to Ruben getting third place. It was an awesome rail, and I hope you're feeling better now. And to Veronica, keep being you, my sweetheart. You're doing awesome, but just drive safe. I drive past the police station every time these are on, and I've got my spacers on, and I'm thinking, well, will they pull me over today or not? But they never do. So I'm quite lucky in that respect. Just be careful.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. The drivers, the closer I get to Vegas, the drivers get crazier and crazier. I'm just saying, it's an observation, it's anecdotal, but I don't know what's going on over here. They're kind of angry too. Maybe it's the heat that makes them angry.
Well, when you cross over state line, that's a big speed trap for sure. There's a lot of times where people get pulled over there, so definitely be careful there. And luckily, like I always tell people when they're making that drive, is don't make it tired. So luckily you're making it during the day, because it's not a drive you want to make tired for sure.
Well, I'm an old lady who gets up at 6 a.m. I go running at 6 a.m. I do my own thing. And I went to bed super early last night. I was exhausted after work. And I got up at 3:30 in the morning. And I was like, fuck it, I'll go. So I got up pretty early. But I've got a good amount of energy. So hopefully we'll make it through the Gladiator.
Yeah, there you go. Well, anytime you're at the table, you're that gets your energy going. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, but as soon as I see those lineups, my energy is going to drain from my body, and so will my soul, whatever we call a soul.
Plus, we've got two of the best ladies on this panel, which is Sherry and Veronica in the poker industry. Very, very strong ladies indeed. I think Uptown's had his hand up for quite a while now, so I'll hand it over to Uptown if it's all right with you guys.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Eden is saying everyone's jealous of him. Are you guys jealous of Eden?
Jealous of what? There's nothing to be jealous of.
Jealous of a mid-40-year-old who lives at home and works as a waiter and yells at people every night when he's drunk?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question, even though it's maybe tongue-in-cheek a little bit. Sherry and I have been talking about this all week a little bit off and on behind the scenes. And one of the things that we've talked about is just like, we're not going to avoid the topic, but, like a lot of people would run a show like this and the whole show would be about that, just so that they can draw people in and whatever. And the reality is, like, we've talked about the fact that, like, it doesn't matter if no one shows up, then that's cool. We're just having a conversation, and whatever, and that's fine. If it were, just a few of us, that's okay. That we're not doing it for, I got 1,000 listeners, and as I was getting kicked out of my hotel room because I was screaming in the middle of the night. So,
we are literally doing this because we enjoy it. We're kind of like nerdy and like to look up stuff. And, if there's 5 of us in here, so be it. If there's 55 or 505. We don't care. We just want to do this and talk poker and have fun doing it. So, Barry
Hey,
Levy, what you got for us?
I got one question. I'm sorry if that's okay. I think he's got like some vulnerable narcissism because like he can't take any constructive criticism, no matter how constructive it is. And with Joey Ingram like still supporting him, and like when people try to point out Eden going crazy. He's like, oh, I don't know what's going on, and like Sean Deeb propping him up, and it helps it get to his head. Do you think that's detrimental to the poker community? And why do you think some people allow him to be this abusive?
It's the enabler mentality, and growing up as somebody, my mom sent me to Alateen. They have Al-Anon for adults, and those are like the families of alcoholics. I can tell you that the stories I've heard this week are the same patterns that I heard back, however many years ago that was, in listening to kids of alcoholics. And some of it has been really honestly soul crushing to hear some of these people that dealt with alcoholics, as a child, and now they've got Eden there wanting him to buy him a drink, and then you've got people like, why are you enabling him, and all that. And like I said last night, the reality is there's only one person to blame, the alcoholic. That's it. Do I agree with buying the guy a drink? No, but I also cut the guy out of my life as soon as I saw how abusive he was to Sherry, and said, this is going nowhere. But it's never the fault of the person that's there. It's they're always good at blaming everyone else. If you look at the bottom line here, is like, he's never accepted responsibility for anything. So the idea that someone that he's met like a week or two ago, is going to make some kind of change in his life, like this random internet person that maybe he meets for a week, you got to realize this story didn't start 2 weeks ago. This story has been going on for the last however many years that he's been an alcoholic. And, at the beginning, I kind of wanted to give him the benefit. I wanted to say alleged he probably has an alcohol problem. Like, no, probably about it. I mean, like, it's just shocking to hear. But I would say this to people that are dealing with an alcoholic: there's only one person that you control, and that's yourself. So, thinking that you're going to change the person, they're not going to change. He's not changing anytime soon until you've heard like at least some remorse. And sometimes that's the cycle, right? Remorse. And then, like they said last night, wake up, feel shame from what you did the night before, apologize, and then do it all again the next night. Like, don't get in that cycle. But we're not even in that cycle. We're dealing with somebody that doesn't even get the problem. And yet, like, thinking about how many people have like come on and said, hey dude, whoa, and yet it's all Sherry or Veronica or Donna, it's everybody else out to get him. And so you're not going to make him see it. And the reality is, he's a random internet guy that none of us knew 3 weeks ago, and he can go and be that random internet guy on his own. I don't have to. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
Well, I knew him from.
yeah, no,
I knew him. Sorry,
it's
Uptown.
not your family member that you have to deal with, So
right. But hey, I just
Okay.
want to say one thing. I want to say Sherry still deserves an apology. She didn't deserve all that harassment. I listened to that space, and she was trying to help him out, and then he just exploded on her. So that's all. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you, Uptown. We appreciate you. Go ahead, Barry Levy.
Yeah, I just wanted to correct what Veronica said. She said she's an old lady. The term is fucking old lady. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Too right.
We're the
We're
fucking old
starting a
lady gang.
fucking.
I am a fucking old lady. That's true.
And
Dusty fucking old lady.
and you mentioned waking up remorseful. He wakes up drunk. He's fighting now with Josh and Jennifer. I mean, he's going through it again. Just as we
Oh
speak,
boy.
just wakes up, fucking picks up where he leaves
And
off.
God bless Jen, the writer. God
Yeah,
bless
and
her.
So
Thank you, Jen.
this is a guy that was seconds away from getting banned last night. I mean, from what I hear, like I'm shocked that he didn't get banned. And by the way, I wouldn't count that as over either.
Sorry, Ben from where? Ben from where? Can you clarify
Well,
for us who don't
yeah,
know?
he was on. He
Largely.
decided to start a competing space like F these mother, whatever, and he was, I guess security came to the door at Bellagio and was ready to kick him out. I mean, there was a noise complaint, and he was still.
He was being really loud on Spaces, and the security came and told him to shut the fuck up. And then he wouldn't, and he was arguing with them. And they were like, "You have 2 warnings. If you continue to be loud, we're gonna kick you out." And he's like, "Well, I have 70 people listening to me. It's more important than everyone else sleeping."
Yeah, it was really unbelievable.
He didn't say 70 people. He said, I have 1 million people listening.
1 million people.
No, he said that if he had 1 million people, then they wouldn't be bothering him. But the fact that he had 70,
And I'm
yeah.
not fighting with him. I just told him, stop. Don't say my name. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem when you see me. Just don't say my name. Last night, him and Nick were having a conversation, and he decided to bring Veronica, myself. And I basically said, focus on the person you're talking to. Leave the other
Right.
people are not, involved out of your mouth. I said, or you're gonna have to deal with people when you see them to your face.
Hey, Josh. I
Hey,
miss
yeah,
you.
you too.
You're the best photographer in the
Thank
world.
you.
You guys, I met Josh in person, and he couldn't be a better human being. I really just
Thank
love
you.
Josh.
And the feeling is mutual. We worked great on the biggest poker show in the world. Veronica is one of the best reporters that got the best information out of people. It was a great experience, and I'm truly happy, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Just tell everyone that you're my Instagram boyfriend. Admit it.
Yes.
Your wife knows about me. It's okay, Josh.
With my wife laying next to me right now. Yes, I am.
I've never had anyone take better pictures of me. Most guys take terrible pictures. Every single photo you took of me, I looked like a supermodel. I don't know what you did.
Well, I'm blessed to take beautiful photos of my beautiful bride, so it was very simple taking them. And I guess the community shared the
Good
same
answer.
experience because they've all shared and commented 1 million times on Twitter, so it worked out perfect.
Veronica, are you playing the seniors event this year?
The super seniors also, yeah.
Easy there, John.
Hey guys, how cool was it? Keating
Keating
jumped on last night again and had one of those moments of where, he was taking questions. I'm sorry, I fell asleep on you guys. They were asking me to be a co-host. I saw it this morning, and I was like, nah, Josh was knocked out.
Well, Alex has had his hand up for a while. What you got for us, Alex?
Hey y'all. Thank you for that. Few things. I was just so happy when I just logged on to the space and started listening, and that and the continuing conversation of kind of we're basically talking about a standard of respect, and that is just, to me, critical. And quality content, like just like you said, numbers don't matter. We're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. We're nerds. It's going to be cool, and the cream rises to the top over time as far as quality. And we have to remember Twitter, not just Twitter, but the poker world is just massive. There's all these little pockets, and there's pockets of wonderful people. There's pockets of scammers. There's pockets of misogynists, and as far as Eden and the numbers, if he continues to be exactly who he is, which I don't think any of us doubt will change, he might continue to have numbers by the type of people that are attracted to that type of, bullying and content and stuff. It's entertainment. and one of the largest pockets in poker community is being entertained. And it's why, Airball would continue to get, you know, TV time. It's not just the money. Is like, it was a train wreck for a while there. He had a good apology. He seems to have come to Jesus, whatever. But it was entertaining. And that's why he would continue to get stuff. And it's unfortunate in many ways. But the onus is upon the people with integrity, and a lot of those people are here right now, to represent as not just themselves, but in how they promote other people in the community. And I heard what you had to say, Software, about the similarities to the Alon and enabling and stuff like that. While all very true, but this is not alcoholism like this community. And there is enabling that can happen here. And I think while there's multiple levels of platform, of sort of soapboxes and levels, various platforms on this platform, as far as the type of cred that people have and the the following that they have. And the more you step up in this industry and getting respect from people underneath you, it's important to like the crown is heavy. So it's important to maintain your standards and integrity by how you deal with certain people that are elevated. Like a lot of people, like, just like you said, even good guys like Joey will kind of sort of fade it. Well, I don't know what's going on with him. Bro, this is your time to fucking step up and add to your, what you're building, and call a spade a spade. And just the more that we do that, the better. I started, I'm an advocate for the WPA. I was raised by an amazing mother, love my sister, and I've just been an advocate for women in poker for a very long time. As I started to play poker, I started in production at WPT seasons 2 through 5. I made a final table season 6 as I transitioned into playing. I wrote curriculums for WPT Bootcamp, WSOP Academy, but my main favorite thing back in the day was teaching the Ladies Academy with Annie Duke. I was the guest male instructor. And I would teach women about how to deal with the varying types of males and their like obvious patterns of behavior and play, and how to take advantage of that. And nothing made me happier to do that, because just as somebody who gives a shit about people and life in general, when I bring that to the poker world, very few things meant more to me than to see this disparity close when it comes to respect at the table, and the type of respect that just a dude for being a dude will get, and then how some women were just broadly treated, if not even some specific instances. And I will always speak up, and I'll always shut these fuckers down when they're like right there at the table. I don't care how big you are. I don't care about how loud your mouth is. I'll tell you to shut the fuck up, whatever it is. Pardon my French. But beyond just doing that in my individual moments at tables, this is just something that as we grow in this community, we are the caterers of this community. Like, we are building it as we're living in it. And little spaces like this, and every time that somebody that has a little bit of cred uses that cred for good, we're going to create what we need to create. And we just have to allow, look, because I started with poker's huge, there's going to be pockets of shitty people that are going to get their clicks and their people and their fanboys and people backing up because they cheer for the entertainment. And bullying is attractive to a lot of people because it's entertaining, and it's unfortunate. But I just wanted to just give this space its high five, and just know, and just remind all of us, or anytime you have a chance to talk to some of these people, remind them of how heavy the crown is and what some of these responsibilities are. And then look,
Well, great comments,
sure.
Alex. Thank you so much. And thank you for being so supportive and willing to teach women in poker. And when you were doing it, was even probably 2% of the field was women. So
Yeah.
that in itself is amazing. Josh, you had some comments?
Yeah, I can't agree more with what Alex said. I mean, I think it's exactly as is. You have your pockets, because I remember before I detached myself from listening or being a part of his spaces, there were people that were cheering him on, how he spoke about you and Donna and those folks. And it was really amazing to me that, common sense just loses people for entertainment. And, we know that, again, because of all the reality. Look, I watch reality TV with my wife. I get it that people like to see that kind of drama, but it's different when you have a space like this in a community like this that, overall, I always saw the poker community. I've been around it, for quite some time, and I always saw it as being fair minded. And it really was baffling me how some of the elites, as Alex pointed out, were given a lot of passes to him, like the Joeys of the world, and guys coming back saying, well, he's just funny. Yeah, but he's literally stabbing people with a dagger through their heart and shitting on them. And people were applauding that. And it's not good. I mean, and then the next morning when people say, oh, it's an alcoholic thing, he wakes up and is still doing it sober. I mean, so it's kind of hard to say it's an alcoholic thing when you're waking up and you're doing the same action sober the next day. So to me, I applaud Alex for the way he put all of that into perspective. I think more folks in the community need to take that stand and not just care about the entertainment or having their voice heard on his space and all that. Just, they need to take a stand against that.
Well, those are great comments. Thank you, Josh. Donna, did you have something?
Yeah, just a quick one. Alex, don't worry about French. I flunked French, and my swearing's amazing. So don't worry about that one. As for me being an old lady, yeah, I might be a sweet old lady, but I don't ever cross me, because I can be the biggest bitch ever. And I think people starting to realise that.
Preach.
Even Matt Savage turned around and said, I don't want to ever upset you. Now, for somebody like Matt to turn around and say that, I think that's hilarious.
I love it. Love you, old lady.
Love you too, old lady.
Oh, God. David, what you got for us, bud?
Thanks for letting me come on, Sherry.
You bet.
I just wanted to, I was listening early on when this thing started 3 weeks ago, and it seemed like it was going well because a couple of reasons. You, for one, seemed to be a person that could reel him in and temper him somewhat. Poker
Thank
Pro
you.
Eric and Coco both seemed to have some kind of control, but after that, it just seemed like it completely went off the rails, and he started talking crazy about Joshua and Veronica and Nick, and it's like, well, what's happened here? What's going on? And it's just a darn shame, because he really had something special going here that could have just been built on and built on and built on. And now, like, wow, like I over the last 24 hours, I can't believe what's happened.
Yeah, one thing I will say about his momentum, he clearly sets fire to everything in his life, because you can look at his situation right now and see that this isn't a product of a man who has built up good relationships in his life. But what's crazy to me is that he got flown out to Vegas. People are buying him food, all this stuff. I was on his space when Poker Night in America said, hey, we'll bring you in here, do your Twitter spaces from Poker Night in America, and it was literally their official account. Instead of him saying, hey, that sounds amazing, like, when can I get down there? When can we talk about this? Like, I'd love this opportunity. He was paranoid. He's like, I don't know, this smells fishy, something's wrong with this, blah, 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 blah. And he just set fire to that opportunity. It would have been like Poker Night America would have had him be a part of their show and do Twitter spaces from there. Like, it's just insane to me how he sets fire to everything.
Veronica, he thinks you, Nick, and I, and HCL have this group that are secretly against him, and we're forming this weird alliance. Like we don't have lives and all that other stuff, that we're going to focus on Eden.
I don't have time to honestly, I'm not saying this is a mean thing to you, Josh. I see a guy who's like clearly mentally ill, got some sort of like, some sort of personality disorder where he's like super paranoid. I just like don't care that he thinks anything that he thinks. Like, I'm not engaging with him. It is like the stuff that he's saying is just like absolute nonsense. And like it's a very, someone said earlier, like there's traits of narcissism, like no accountability, and like he doesn't look at anything that's happening to him as a cause, like his cause, as something that he's done. He looks at it as like everyone around him, it's their fault. I grew up with a mother who has mental illness, and she was very much like that. It was very confusing while I was a child, but looking back, a lot of people with mental illness can't see things clearly or accurately, or unable to self-reflect, don't have self-awareness, and he comes across that way. I'm not able to diagnose, obviously, but he just comes across as an alcoholic with clear mental health issues.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can disagree with that synopsis of the situation for sure. Christian, did you have something to add? Welcome.
Hey, good morning. So I haven't really been following along the last week. I've been playing a bunch, so I haven't tuned into the spaces. But yesterday I took a day off, and I just like someone told me that he got like stood up or whatever at Tao, so I invited him over to a Wet Republic, and he came, and he looked like fairly normal. He was just kind of relaxed, like but then I don't know what happened after that. So I guess like I'm sort of asking like someone to fill me in on what happened at night, I guess.
Christian needs the bullet points. Who wants
Yeah,
to?
I really don't know because like
he does the same thing every night, Christian. He gets drunk, he sits on spaces and creates a shooting gallery. Anyone who starts talking, he starts swearing at them and cursing them out.
Oh, that's really sad. Yeah.
And it ended with Bellagio security at his door because he was screaming into the phone and stuff like that. And then, Christian, as you know, like if casino security is telling you to knock it off, like you'd probably not be belligerent with them, but he was absolutely like doing the same shit with the security guys. He was like moments away from getting kicked out of the hotel, and then obviously that probably leads to a ban at MGM, I would think. So
Right, just a full MGM ban across all the
And
properties.
Christian, how great is that on Rob Kuhn? That,
I was going to say
he's got to deal with having that on his name for his room he got.
Yeah, that would be, Rob Kuhn is going to bear responsibility because it's his room.
Yeah, that's
100%.
Well, that's the thing with a guy like Eden as this moves forward. If he doesn't make changes in his life, or look in the mirror and see what's really there, is that ultimately other people, these enablers, will find out that it will not benefit them, even though they're now getting a few thousand people listening to them. If they're supporting them and they're on there, it's ultimately going to come down on you. And just the faster that can happen, the better. Just like you said, this Rob Kuhn. Really quick, I just have to go. My neighbor's daughter just knocked on my door and asked if I'd help her mom with the power washer. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, but I'm going to sign back on.
Go do that, my friend.
Yes, but
great job, Alex.
one really quick funny note from when you were talking about the drive, Veronica. I did that drive from LA to Vegas no less than 400 times when I lived in LA and was playing every day. And I would notice, there's 2 lanes. And everybody's trying to do their thing in the fast lane, and it's kind of packing up. You'd always get that guy that tries to cut the line of traffic in the right lane, get all the way up, and then they'll like do this dangerous move to cut back in, when they get up to the truck in the right lane and cut back into the fast lane. And I was always thinking, I pray this person is playing poker, at my table, or please God for their life, don't play poker, because their value risk assessments are so bad. They will risk their lives to save 2 minutes And I just it was dangerous, but the entertainment of how foolhardy these drivers are out there on that drive from LA to Vegas with these massive risks for no value. It's like, please God, tell me he's playing in this tournament that I'm heading up, because this guy sucks. But anyway.
Well, thank you,
Thanks,
Alex.
Alex.
All
We
right, guys.
appreciate you.
Thanks,
Christian,
Joe.
Christian, what are you playing next? Are you still there? No?
Christian.
Did I lose you?
I see you.
Christian's just chilling. He's just chilling.
he's got that chilling look, like permanently.
I see a hand up, Norman.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that if I was Rob Kuhn, I would have Eden removed from my room before I get in trouble myself.
I before listen, before last night, I disagreed when folks said that, because he made the offer and all that, and he was just being Eden. But when security now gets involved, I think you have to seriously step back and think about it, and not just security getting involved. There's recording of how he was behaving to the security. So now you do have to start saying, "Wait a minute, did I make the right choice?"
Yeah, the way he talked to security was totally unacceptable. Like, that's insane.
It's not a good look. We can all agree on that.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
and Josh, Fanboy, said this morning. He said last night's security debacle was the last straw. I won't get
Well,
him.
no. And Veronica, he says, after him not apologizing to Veronica and the ladies and
Yeah.
last night's security debacle,
Yeah.
he's done with him. I said, listen, and I understood where Fanboy was coming from last night. I really empathize. I love somebody who has a forgiving heart and wants to try to help change, because they've seen some echoes of their past with their family, what he's dealing with. But it's one of those fool me once, fool me twice things, I think.
Yeah, I think we all want the best for Eden, but sometimes you need tough love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And enabling the thing that's going on, and it happens in any form, whether you're an abusive addict, a drug addict, an alcoholic, whatever. If you're just like allowing, and the guy is going to have folks, as Alec put, that just keep coming back. And it doesn't matter if he hurt Veronica or Donna or Sherry or Jamie or any of these folks, and just absolutely tongue lashing everybody every chance he gets, because in his mind he's like, well, people keep coming back. So what he needs to do, Veronica, hold on 1 second. What he needs to do is go to get help and then come back. That's what he needs to do.
I agree with you, Josh. But one thing I will say about the people who are going, and I want to reiterate what Alex was saying. Like, I want to be a part of a quality community, and I don't need that community to be big. I just want people who are good around me, who I trust, who I like, who I know are.
You're breaking up.
She's going through Zizek's road there.
All of us who've done that drive so much know exactly where she is.
You bunch of bloody degens, you lot.
Just make sure you slow down going down that hill, man.
You don't know how many of us have been on a phone call where you're holding the phone up thinking you're going to get a better signal when you go through that area.
No.
All right, listen, I just want to make a little housekeeping announcement. We have lots of people requesting to come up and speak. So if we rotate you out, please don't be offended. Poker Pro Eric, I'm trying to get you approved, but you got kicked out. So if you want to, I sent you a request again. If you want to send us one again, maybe we'll get it accepted. So thank you. Christian, go ahead, bud.
Time out. So Veronica's she's like a good friend of mine. Like, what happened between her and Eden? And I don't know if Veronica can hear me or answer.
I'll tell you what, Poker Pro.
If I told you the words he used, Christian, you'd want to I don't know what you'd want to do.
Yeah, he dropped Christian. He dropped every profound word on her head, dude. I mean, he didn't hold back, and for her just pointing out what stuff like she did now, and it was 100% uncalled for, and that's piling on top of what he said about Sherry and Donna. He just he shit on them, dude.
Last night he said something terrible, Veronica. He called her a word that starts with WH.
He called her a whore. Just say it.
Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Now I'm
People
pissed.
support, if you are in that space supporting that, shame on you. Go ahead, Barry.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks again. I mean, just anyone coming up at this point saying, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about," they got to be full of shit themselves, or they're just embarrassed that they stood by him this long.
Or they haven't been following along.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, all you got to do is hang out with him 5 minutes in real life, and you know what you're dealing with. So I'm just pushing back on anyone who comes up at this point. Like even when Matt Savage came into the space the other night, he was kind of, not dropping a hammer on his head, so to say. Was kind of being supportive. And I can understand, like, you want to see the guy do good, you want to see him get on the right path, but he's just, at this point, he only has the trolls behind him and people looking to support him like that. It's really disgusting.
I
Listen,
think sometimes
when Joey Ingram leaves, and I don't know if you guys got the gist. I got a very detailed screen recording of him going at Joey a little bit a few nights ago, and Joey leaving. Joey tried to say, "Hey, man," and I'll give Joey. I know people are hitting on Joey. Joey did say you can't be talking to people the way you do. And he even said, in the recording I saw, "Joey, you now?" And he goes, "Well, I'm just saying you can't talk to people the way you do. You just can't." So he's starting to lose the people who really try to help him have that platform and get started.
I think
Ooh,
sometimes the
and
poker community.
oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
I was just going to quickly add. I think sometimes the poker community is a bit too accepting and a bit too easy to give someone a second chance. If this was any other industry, he'd be out so fast.
I don't know if that's true, because like a lot of what I've heard this week are a lot of people that that sound a lot similar to like families of alcoholics and things like that. Like, but again, like the guy isn't your family member. So cool hand cat.
Hi. Yeah. I'm not sure if I can really add anything here, but so when I first started listening to the spaces, I think it was with Dankness, and then he came in as kind of like a helper, and it was odd, and wasn't a huge fan or whatever. But I think one of the things that he started running these like 24-hour spaces, right? And that was a little scary to me, because I thought you can't put that kind of pressure on someone to be up all night, and it seemed like a lot of people in the poker community were kind of, I don't want to say like egging him on, but basically like putting him in the like, yeah, go, 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 and he didn't seem to have a lot of experience with the poker community, even who people were. He didn't really know who anyone was. And the reason why his spaces grew was because of the people that were helping him. And he was getting this amazing support. Like for anyone in the poker community, like he had Danny Negreanu giving him advice. I mean, like he had people like, if he just had some wherewithal about what kind of support he was getting, he could have been fine. He just had to settle down and just like, he could be the guy. Like, nobody could calm down, be the guy, but he's not the guy. You know what I mean? He's not capable of doing that. But in all, Spaces was kind of a cool thing. And like, I like you guys are coming in, you guys have been more serious. You've done a lot more like poker content and stuff. But I think obviously one of the things that fueled the Spaces was having big name people on that do a little bit of gossip, maybe not a lot of gossip, but there was some gossip. There was some like almost group therapy at some point. So there was a lot of interesting stuff that happened, but you needed like someone who's just going to go like, okay, I'll press play. I'll let the poker community speak. But then he made it too much about himself and whatever. But so it's interesting. I mean, I'd like to see, where you guys take it, Sherry and everyone, and what grows from that. Cause I think there is a place for poker spaces in the poker community, and there's something nice there. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, I just saw it as too many people. I don't think his fan base are necessarily enablers. Those are just like, I don't think he has a fan base, you know what I mean? But I think there were a lot of people that maybe were supporting him beyond his means. and in a way kind of setting him up for failure, because he's not really capable of having that kind of, popularity or that kind of microphone. He's gonna self-destruct, which he has, and it's sad to watch. And I think as a poker community, we have to be careful when we bring people in that maybe don't have don't have the wherewithal, because I think poker can be very predatory, and we can bring people in for short-term EV and not long-term. And I think that's kind of what happened. He wanted to be there. He wanted that space, and people gave it to him. But I feel like he might have gotten too much support from really, really great people, and it's too bad he couldn't take the advice. But yeah.
Well, and I think, and we appreciate your comments. I think part of it is he wasn't vetted properly, right? He wasn't vetted properly in the fact that, yes, we want to jump on board, support him 100%, lift him up, use our resources to help this guy. He has a hope and a dream, and all of us support it, right? But, when you are personally attacking people, that is just being a bad human being.
Didn't Josh Aryeh call this early on, though?
Oh yeah, so did a lot of other people.
Didn't
So
Josh
did
come
Ronnie.
out and say before anybody else, though, really, that, hey, he said, why is that with all these brilliant people who do reporting in poker that can do these spaces, why are you the one that everybody's gravitating to? And,
But
that to me was the message for Eden to be different in a positive way. Because if Josh was doing that, and I'm a guy who's very competitive, I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to show them why. I'm going to be this different. I'm going to be this voice. But instead, he became the opposite, and exactly what Josh was playing, was stating. He became the guy that you don't want, as Cool Hand just said. You don't want to, he had his shot and he blew it.
Well, and I'm going to say that he has no situational awareness, of course. We have all witnessed that. And, somebody messaged me earlier today, and I'm going to tell you, once he was so rude to me, I unfollowed him. I have not listened to his spaces, been in his spaces, listening. I've had people message me every morning. I get up to messages, with sound bites or whatever. And, and here we are talking, right? And quite honestly, I am tired of talking about it. And the issues that he brings on every day, he brings on himself, has nothing to do with me, Brian, Donna, Josh, Veronica, anybody. Poker.
Well, look at his
Arrow.
space last night. We had 110 people. We had a guy who was a number 3 or 4 final table guy, in one of the events that had never had gotten that Badogi. I don't play other games. Sorry, guys. Yeah,
No
I'm
worries.
very traditional Texas Hold'em and all that. But it got interrupted by that.
By the nonsense. And I'm going to tell you, Brian and I have done well the last 12 days. We have been able to, curtail it. And I'm sure he's over there thinking, why are we doing this right now? Because we have for, 11 other broadcasts, so to speak. We have just kind of let a few things come out about it, and we kind of shut it down and moved back to poker. And today, quite honestly, I've just felt like people just needed to have a chance to say whatever. And I was on another space this morning, same thing. People just needed a chance because it's like a little bit of a whirlwind, and every day new people join the hurricane because they don't know.
But when you bring some of his folks over that are starting to see the light, if you will, you got to address it. So you got to have these moments so people could hear why Sherry, who was so close and a co-host, is now, doing the with soft, and doing all those things. It's got to be addressed. But I think you do it segmented, which he never did. His rants and all that would go on for 8 hours. I think you guys, being a guy that comes from knowing about programming and whatnot, I think you guys, you address it, you talk about it, and then you get back to what all the folks really want to hear, which is poker. I mean, it's
and I appreciate that, Josh. And I'm going to stop you for a minute because we missed the opportunity earlier. and I don't want to miss it again. And if you want to pick it back up after this, Josh, please feel free to. But we poker, you were here a little bit earlier, and we were kind of off in a tangent, which was fine. But I want to give you a chance to celebrate what happened in your life last night. So I'm going to let you take the mic and tell us what happened last night.
Hi, on. Welcome back. Thank you.
Hit
Face
that.
off speaker.
Yeah, hit that
You
speaker
muted.
button, love.
Bottom left. Are you there? Hopefully you're on the mobile app, because I don't think the desktop you can do that.
Sorry, who are we waiting for?
Oh,
For
We're waiting
you.
for you.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, darling.
Oh, guys, I hit a dead service zone. We're driving home. I was visiting my mom this week, and I had like 20 minutes of no service. It just dropped everything for me.
That's okay. Tell us what happened in your life last night, please.
Oh, well, and I guess in my life, but I didn't do it. I was just a cheerleader. My partner, who is Wug 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 on Twitter, he went to Vegas last week to play his.
Oh, we don't have a good connection. I'm sorry to say, you are cutting out. I'm sorry to say we've lost you.
Maybe she'll come back.
We will wait with bated breath to hear that story.
Hopefully she'll get back on here. I've been waiting to hear this story, Sherry.
Me too. Me too. I'm with you. Sean, come on.
Come on up, my friend.
I'm trying to get him on.
Here he comes. Maybe.
I just want to say something about Matt Savage.
Please.
Matt's sent me messages and said, "Oh, people's coming after me for not saying that you really went hard on Eden." Matt is the kind of guy that doesn't like confrontation. He doesn't like cancelling people. Right?
100%. 100%.
So I know what Matt said, and I'm fine with what Matt said. So please don't go after Matt, because it's not Matt's fault.
Yeah, and one thing is Matt was, on the other side of the globe by you, Donna, somewhere, right?
Yeah, he's in Italy at the minute.
So I would think that during the day when it was like late at night here, he was a lot of times running the WPT stuff, and so while he might have heard some things that he thought were funny, I don't think that he heard the whole thing. I mean, I'm always willing to give people the benefit of the doubt on stuff, and certainly somebody that you've seen around for a long time, and it'd be hard pressed to say anything negative about Matt. So I know that, like, I made a comment yesterday about it, and I do need to send him something privately or whatever. Like, my intention wasn't to like make him look bad or anything like that at all. It was kind of like people were commenting about him being in there and stuff like that, and they weren't tagging him, and so I tagged him and said, well, I would assume that he didn't know everything that was said, or I think I said I'm surprised by your version of what you're saying, because doesn't align with my experience with Matt. So yeah, I think that, just like Christian was saying, like, people are busy, they're playing their events, they don't have like 20 hours a day to sit on spaces. So, and
okay, Avi, what you got for us?
Wait.
Oh, sorry.
WePro is back, I think.
Okay.
Sorry,
Avi. Gotta wait, bud. WePro, can you hear us?
Or maybe not. Let's go to Avi, and then hopefully she comes. Her connection is no bueno.
You know how frustrating that is when you're trying to connect. That is so frustrating.
Well, the most genius was the "Can you hear me now" commercials, like forever.
Good.
Yeah, Avi, go ahead, you go, and then hopefully WePro gets into a little bit better area as you're going.
Yesterday after a space ended, I followed Ben into WePro's space and heard that they were rooting for Ruben. So I started watching that, and I was watching basketball too. I was having 3 screens going yesterday. It was kind of amazing. And yeah, Ruben played extremely well, but he got pocket aces as the shorts.
Okay, time out. We're going to let her tell the story. I purposely led into
Oh yeah,
her
yeah.
so that she can tell the story from a significant other's point of view. So if you don't mind, Avi, if you could
No
just hold
spoiler
off.
alerts, man.
Yeah, no spoiler alerts.
Yeah, no worries. I was just going to share one hand, but yeah, I'll let her.
Come back to us with it, okay, pal? I'd appreciate that.
He played great, though.
So I do want to say that their KevMath put out that all the satellites are planning to run today so far. At this time, all daily deep stacks and mega satellites will run at their scheduled times. So
That's pretty good.
And Sherry, just to recap, I'm trying to move some things around on a couple of the days because I know you have a very tight window of when you're in Vegas. So I'm trying to move some things around to make dates work. I think I can get it done. I'll confirm with you most likely no later than Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll get you a hard date of when we can do that, that dinner that we planned.
That'll be awesome. And I need to fill Veronica in on it too, unless you already have, because earlier she offered to take Brian and I out for dinner. So
No, she's always come on, she's like I
she's
said,
on the list already.
absolutely. She's automatically already
she
signed
doesn't.
in.
I know, but she doesn't know the list. So I want to make sure we tell her about the
By
list.
all means, I put you in charge of that. That's your absolutely.
So I'm going to send her a message and let her know. I just wanted everybody to know that I had not done
Is
that
this
yet,
thing
but I
on?
will.
Yep, it's on.
Yes, go.
Oh God.
Yes.
Jeez. Okay. I'm so sorry. I think I might be out of the worst of it, like bad service wise. I don't even know what was heard before I got disconnected.
No, just start over. We didn't really.
Yeah, start from the beginning, please.
Okay. So my partner in crime and in life is his handle on Twitter is wug 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 wug, but his name is Ruben. Everybody calls him Ruben, and he's an online like grinder crusher. He's been playing professionally for the last 20 years, primarily online, with a few random like live things here and there. But he's never played at the WSOP until this week. He flew out either late last week or early this week and played 2 events and kind of max fired and didn't have much success with it. Got into his 3rd event, which was event 19, the $2,500 freeze out, and bagged day 1, came back, played day 2, and kind of stayed towards like the middle or the end of the pack for the most part. And I guess he got on a little bit of a heater on the end of day 2, the tail end, which was nice. So he was able to bag up with the final 11 players for day 2, come back to day 3, which was yesterday. He started the day being, I believe, 11 of 11, and then 9 of 9, and then 7 of 7, and at some point got up to, I believe, 5 of 7. Somebody busted, and they got down to the final 6 for the streaming part of the final table. And I'm so angry I couldn't be there. I wanted to be there so bad. But yeah, he final tabled. He got down to final 6. He got his first ever debut streaming, playing a final table, and he ended up busting in 4th. So he got 2 ladders ahead of what he was sitting at when he started the final table. That was like really nice. He ended up cashing for $140,000, I think.
Whoa.
And so that is definitely like his biggest live cash. It's not his biggest cash, but it's his biggest live cash. And yeah, that was like, I don't know. It was a pretty amazing moment for sure to like come into the World Series of Poker after like playing this game for 20 years and never playing at the WSOP ever. And coming in the first week, just fucking crushing it. Your third event and like not min cashing, you know, not like getting decent ladders, not running deep, but final tabling and getting a 4th place finish is just mind blowing in your 3rd event and ever. So I'm
That's so
extremely proud of
exciting.
him.
As you should be. That is so exciting. Do you have a hand that sticks out in your mind?
A hand that sticks out in my mind, a good one or a bad one, because there's a few.
Hey,
um,
whichever you would like to share, or both.
Yeah,
um,
yeah. Bad beat stories at final tables are definitely allowed.
Yep, they're permissible here.
So I respect the shit out of him for folding pocket jacks multi-way pre-flop. Um, and he was short. He was super short, and this is before they even started the final table stream. So there were like 7 or 8 players remaining. He probably, I don't know what like theory says at hand. I honestly, he would know better than me when it comes to that. But he probably just went mostly with his gut and ended up folding, and it's a damn good thing he did, even though he was not happy about the idea, to be able to get a couple more ladders. So, you know, because he probably wouldn't have this experience. Like, he probably wouldn't have been down to final 6 and have a 6-handed final table stream on Poker Go for all of us to sit and sweat and rail. So the jacks is probably the one that sticks out the most to me. He did say for him, the one that stuck out the most was queen hand, which he did talk about in his interview after busting the final table. He had ace queen versus aces, and he ended up chopping, and he probably should have, you know, not continued on after that hand, but
Yeah, very lucky.
luck was on his side. It kept him in the tournament, and yeah, great shit happened. So I'm so excited for him and proud of him, and I will not miss the next one.
Oh,
I
good for
will
you,
take
girl.
a fucking red eye. I will do whatever layovers I have to do to get my ass there and sweat the shit out of him, because I had the worst anxiety having to watch from nearly 3,000 miles away.
Understandably so, but you know, even though I don't know him personally, but I think I could speak for most. We had anxiety watching it too, because he is the story to get behind, you know, and it was so awesome. AV, what you got for us?
Yeah, so I was trying to join the watch party yesterday and I missed it for the pocket aces hand that he had
Which one? He had 2.
at the beginning of the final table where he didn't get the
Okay.
double.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was just wondering how that made you feel watching that, because I thought it was a 100% he's getting
Tilting!
called.
Tilting! I was tilted. I obviously
tilted.
wanted him to get called by Jax, you know? Like, I wanted Jax to call there. I wanted him to get a full double up, like, and that didn't happen. Like, they everybody folded to him. So, and he played the hand correctly, and he was short. I don't think jacks are supposed to fold there, but it is what it is.
And to set it up for everyone else, someone raised to 500,000 with pocket jacks. Someone else called the 500,000 with ace 10 of hearts. Someone folded a jack, by the way, so this wasn't an 80-20, this was a 90-10.
And there was another ace in play.
And
with the ace 10,
he went all in for, I think it was about 3.97 or maybe even less, and it went fold.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Jack
that's a lot of
tanked a
pressure on.
little bit. You could tell he was pretty annoyed with the fact that he was going to fold. I think he sat 3 orbits bitching about folding Jack. So,
I mean, he
yeah,
got the ace 10 was behind the jacks, right? So
yeah, ace 10 called behind him.
If that player has a lot of chips, then you're gonna call off. You gotta ship it, or you're not gonna fold to a re-raise after you put in 3 point whatever million, So I don't know what the stack sizes were, but certainly not that shocking to see somebody fold jacks in that spot. But it does
The
feel good.
blinds with either 200K or 250K in that hand. I don't remember, but I know that Ruben was pretty short.
200.
Well, I was screaming, fold them jacks. Just fold them jacks. Please fold them jacks. By the way,
obviously we want to call because he's ahead, right? He's a million miles ahead pre-flop with aces. So we want a call. But yeah, you don't want, shit to happen. You don't want bad things to happen post-flop. So,
did your son get you something from the mall yesterday?
What's that?
Something to eat? Did your son get you something to eat from the mall yesterday?
He went by Panera and got me something from Panera last night because I was stuck. I couldn't go anywhere. I had such bad anxiety watching that.
I know, but did you eat it?
I did. I had 3 bites.
Good.
Which was enough.
3 bites is just enough. That's fine by me.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. So
exactly.
Poker Pro Eric, what you got for us? Poker Pro Eric, can you hear us, bud?
I can't hear him.
He might be in the cave, otherwise known as the casino. Bad reception. Poker Pro Eric, can you hear us, bud?
Yeah.
I
think Twitter's having issues.
Yeah, I think a lot of people's having issues.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just wanted to say congratulations, my darling. I was with you all night.
I
And
appreciate you, Donna.
I missed
so
the watch
sweet, by the way.
party.
You're just the absolute best.
Thank you, but don't cross me. Don't ever cross me because I can be the biggest bitch out there.
I want to get so fucking nasty on here about somebody that's just worthy of getting nasty over, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave it alone.
We're going to keep celebrating Ruben instead.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Let's keep celebrating Ruben.
Yeah, I'm going to celebrate his small victory, and I don't know. I feel it in my bones. He's going to have another final table this series. I feel it because he's so confident now. He needed that just to kind of solidify this is what he should be doing.
Well, and
I've got no doubt there's another deep run in him.
You see people that do their second time there, they're able to close it out because they've just been there before, and they're so much more relaxed, and so hopefully you'll be able to close one out this year and get a Poker Pro Eric.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak quietly. Actually, Fanboy is on the other side of the hotel room from me right now, asleep. Fanboy was playing poker all night, and I was up a lot. Pro, you got me bummed. You said you were not there. I heard you on Spaces because you were live. I went to the final table looking for you. I thought you were at the final table because you were on Spaces.
Uh,
And I walked over to there and I'm looking like, where the hell's WePro? And I didn't realize, I guess you were at home or something. I didn't know. I felt like an idiot because I was wandering around looking for you, and I wanted to cheer for Ruben together. And I did watch Ruben for a little bit, but it's honestly it's a pretty terrible experience at the final table, because you can't see the cards, the players block the stacks, and you're like 30 feet away.
I don't want to hear excuses, Eric. Like you're the reason why you came in fourth. If you had been on the rail doing your job, we would have been in there with a bracelet, my friend. No,
Of course, yeah. So I'm
it's all you.
yeah I'm the reason, of course, but I literally thought WePro was like maybe not on the rail, but like maybe like 30-40 feet back, so to like be on Spaces. And I was like looking around. I felt so dumb because I didn't realize like it was just me. So and Joe Marengo too. Joe Marengo was there with me the other night too.
Well, I thought this Spaces was like live from the table or
No,
something.
it's
I was
live.
like,
It's
that is
live from the security office from the Bellagio Hotel.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I briefly heard that last night while I was at the yeah.
Oh, love you for
Oh my
that.
gosh, yeah. So, and I feel weird about that too because I didn't invite him to dinner. I guess it's public knowledge I was at dinner with him. It was kind of a funny joke because Beans picked him up because Beans promised to like meet up with him. And then afterwards, so there was this thing that um, Eden had about trying to get on his good side. So he had a meeting with Jungleman Cates yesterday actually to do like a jingle. I don't know the details, but I walked him to find Jungleman's condo. He has a condo at the MGM Signature, which is the towers behind the MGM. They're private residences. And I went to Jungleman's condo last night, and I think Jungleman was giving him drinks. I think a lot. I think I wasn't there the whole time. I left, and because when I brought him there, he was in a bitchy mood, but he wasn't drunk. So I think maybe Jungleman got him drunk. I don't know. But then I guess that's when shit went off the rail at the Bellagio, and that's fucking terrible. So that's all I know. I don't know much more details of the Bellagio other than the fact that like he was like 5 minutes away from getting evicted. It sounded like, huh?
Yeah. Just no backing down when you should be. But yeah. So what are you playing today, Eric?
I'm gonna go to the pool in a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna use a little pool day on Saturday here. Yeah, that's my plan right now.
I may hop on a flight. I don't know. We'll see. I think there's one flight that I can
Oh,
catch.
oh.
But
By the way, yeah, you heard Veronica. So Veronica got invited, and SWilliam, I think it was SWilliam, told her to turn around. Alan Keating invited Veronica to fly with him and some other like high profile whales from Silicon Valley to Las Vegas at noon today. And she had already left her house, and we're like, dude, turn around. Like, can you imagine just like the benefit of being on that flight with like Alan Keating and all those whales? Like that would be invaluable to me.
well, especially who that probably is like I can imagine who those people
Yeah,
are
I don't
really
know. I just know it was a private jet out of the
yeah.
Silicon Valley airport, and she got invited. That's pretty cool. She got invited live on air, and she's like, "Oh, I already left my house." I would have fucking raced back to my house.
Yeah.
Oh, you're cutting out, Eric.
You've got to see a bigger picture though. But Veronica's there for a month, so she's going to be
Yeah, how does
using
that
her,
work? I
her
gotta,
own
you know what? I
car.
gotta go see her today. I know she's in the Gladiator. She has like a job she's all proud of. Like, she can just take a month off now from like her like job in the Silicon Valley. That's crazy. She's not like a boss.
Well, she does tech stuff, so probably she can do stuff remotely and
Yeah,
stuff like
wow,
that.
a month though. A month's that's good for her. I hope she crashes some big
I,
shit. Yeah.
I do know that during the week she's really like, she has her job and stuff like that. I've sent her invites for the spaces and she's been like, nope, at work today, so so she definitely is hard at work during the week. So I would imagine she's going to be doing it up there for sure if she's going to be there for the rest of the month. We Pro. Are you back?
I am. I'm back. I'm sorry. I think that maybe Spaces is on the fritz.
Yeah.
Wait. So
I don't
did
think
we
it's my.
did
I
we
don't think
pro?
it's my
Did you just miss
service.
everything I said about the final table then?
No. I heard you say everything about the final table, and then I heard you bring up homeboy with the Bellagio and security, and I actually chimed in and said, "So you're saying that the Bellagio scene, security scene, is Jungle Man's fault?" But I guess I wasn't heard.
No.
My mic
It was actually Beans' fault for connecting Jungleman, right? Beans, was your fault, buddy.
Yeah, that's well, I don't think that guy and alcohol go together very well. Like I'm capable of being a pretty like toxic or dramatic person, but this is clear what's going on in the community.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Let's go ahead and bring Beans up, my friend, and see what he has to say. Good morning. Oh,
Hang on a minute. Wait,
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I'm gonna make.
yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear
just
you,
got here
Beans.
to WSOP, and my God, the line is extremely long. I've never seen it this long in my life. Well, you know how this year they have it goes rapid get into the registration room, and then it comes out and it goes down the hallway. People are out in the hallway halfway to Bally's or Horseshoe. it's fucking long, man.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and then there's another line. Well, anyway, it's just good luck. But I got my seats. So they've been blinding me out for about an hour now. But what were you? I just tapped in real quick. What were you saying about the fountain and Jungle Man? What was going on with that in Eden?
Oh, I just wanted to first say Beans is a smart guy. I was with him yesterday. He drove over to the Horseshoe and he bought his ticket for today's tournament yesterday around 6 o'clock. So Beans, good on you.
Now you got to get the printout, right? Or did you buy it? Did you bought it in person, so you're good?
Yeah, he bought the actual ticket for the tournament yesterday. Yeah, 6 o'clock.
Oh, that's good. So good to be good to. It's fine to be a little bit late there. I was debating, like I was trying to find a flight. I still might fly up there. I don't know. There's like a 1 o'clock or something like that I might.
Well, do you know who I feel sorry for? Miss Veronica is going to be getting to town about an hour or so here, driving, and she's going to have to wait in that line that Beans is talking about. That's like 800 people long. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Very, very long.
And there aren't 800 seats ready.
No, it's full.
So
It's a full
have these
house.
tournaments been over the expected number of entrants, or are they actually where they're at, or below? Where are they all falling at?
Okay, Joshua, I'll explain. This one's new because they've never had a $300. They've had 500s before, and I think the $300 entry was like really appealing to so many people that they're going to hit like record numbers on that one, if that makes sense, because like it's a
So like
lower
the
bound.
Colossal when it came out, it was like that.
Yeah, but that was I think the Colossus was 500 or 550 maybe, I think,
Yeah.
and this one's 300 called the Gladiator, and I think they're going to hit like 27, maybe 27.5 around there for total entries.
Sherry
So
looks like
it'll be a good first place payout, pretty much then.
Well, yeah, because there's no was it last weekend there was the mystery million bounty?
Right.
Bounty's taken out, as you know, so
Before
they take
this,
out the prize pool. What's up, Sherry?
before the started today, we were at 14,000 entries, so we're probably not going to get up to
I think
27,000.
they'll
But
get over. I think they can get over 10,000 today.
I think 22, 23,000.
I'm gonna say
That's
I'm gonna say they
amazing.
get 10,000. That's my prediction.
The problem, Eric, is if you're sitting there with a seat right now, you're probably not thinking that you want to go get in line. And if you do get in line, you may not
Yeah,
get
but
a
your
new seat.
software, you're also thinking that holy shit, there's a lot of people. I need to run up a big stack. I better go all in here. That's the other thing, I think.
Yeah, well, and the structure I think is a little bit fast, right? I mean, they certainly
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I'm not rooting against her, but I want to see how long Veronica stands in line for, because one of you fuckers, I don't know who it was, somebody tagged her and said she needs to fill up her account first at the kiosk. Well, you have to stand in line at the cashier, I believe, to fill up your kiosk. Is that correct?
Yeah, but you could go to the main cage too. I mean, that's an
Okay,
option. And then,
also when you say main cage, you mean like in the Paris casino by the blackjack and craps?
yeah, that's where I actually put money in my account.
Yeah. Okay. Well, someone's gonna have to DM her that because my guess is she probably doesn't know that. I didn't know that. I knew I actually went to the Paris cage yesterday because I played a little roulette. So I know exactly where it is. But yeah, if
I'm
you,
pretty sure she played last year, so she'll know.
well, yeah, but she doesn't know about the Paris fucking the cage. That's not, I don't know what many people do.
Yeah, I think she probably does.
I'll bet you $20. Okay. Anyways, so a lot of people, how about this? A lot of people don't, Sherry, and that's because that's a problem. The line,
All right. So listen, outside of this main gladiator,
yeah,
the events like the 2500, the 1500, are they all getting the entrance that were expected or greater in those
no,
fields as well?
they're about average expected. The one thing that's going high, the $10,000 buy-in, that's been the biggest jump of all the tournaments. So 10K is kind of
But
like
they've all
it's
beat
kind of
the.
like a mid
But
range.
they've all beat the. Every tournament has been more than the
Yeah, but
previous
not
time,
nothing
so they've
crazy
all
though. The
beat the
10K has
numbers.
been big though. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah, so I remember when playing I played like the 5,000, way back when, let's call it when I went deep. There was almost 2,000 people. So there's that many people now jumping in on those events as well.
Okay, my opinion is too. I think they have more reentries available now than back when you played. Not that you're an old man. I'm sorry, Joshua, but they have changed some rules. I think people are jumping back in, the same players and doing rebuys more than before. Not unlimited, but I think some of the flights are like 2 rebuys per day. I think so. That's changed things maybe.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then the one We Pro, her boyfriend Ruben, um, that one is a that was called a freeze out, which that was one of the few. It's actually labeled as a 2,500 freeze out. That's because, as you know, guys, that
Yeah.
you can only do one bullet, and I like both. I like the multiple bullets, but um, the prize pool gets bigger when you have these bigger fields with the multiple bullets.
Yeah, that's true. It was a freeze out. You could only fire one bullet in that bird.
Did you?
But they did get
We
like
Pro, I have a
over
question on that. So
2.5 million.
do you think that favors Ruben's play? That's a freeze out.
Actually, I mean, he's consistently just really good in any sort of structure and anything. I'm biased, obviously, but just my observation with him, like pre-partnership with him, I thought he was just. I thought he has always just been all around really good. He's just a solid player. So I would put him in anything. I would put money on him in anything.
Sorry about that. I'm talking into the muted microphone. That never works very well. So, Josh, when are you planning to get up there?
I'll be in town for business on the 21st, and then I'll be able to be free the 23rd through like the 30th, and then basically I'm going to try to extend that through that's what I'm working on for this dinner. I'm going to try to extend it through the 23rd through the 3rd or the 4th. Just keep myself open. And I'm staying there. I told you guys it's supposed to be 2 weeks. It'll wind up being a fucking month or a month and a half. It's going to wind up turning into. I already see it. I already gave the family the disclaimers. Just don't count me in on any events.
That's the life of a poker player for sure. You're pretty close to opening your facility up there, right?
No, we're close to breaking ground.
Oh, breaking ground.
Yeah,
Okay.
we to deal with the city and all that through COVID was rough, and then for them to catch up. So I mean, it's really in Vegas, unlike anywhere else, or in Nevada and even the outskirts, Henderson, where we are, they actually build pretty damn fast.
Yeah, the like concrete tilt up buildings and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and the workforce is just really good because what they do, and Steve Wynn is the one who implemented this. They just work different shifts. So basically, they'll have 4 different shifts going, and they'll build all 24 hours a day.
Wow.
So that helps. 4 different crews coming in. So I'm anticipating we're gonna put tilt ups there that basically will be there until everything's done, so we can operate some things out of there. But what we'll do, if you're in town when I am, which I'm hoping you are, because we're going to dinner, I hope. So we'll take a ride out and we'll walk the grounds.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love that.
It'd be cool.
Yeah. Anything else, Sherry? You want? I see Sean is requesting. I don't.
I'm good to wrap up after Sean has his 2 cents.
Thank you. Just in the car, I just spent 30 minutes plus blow drying my daughter's hair. I'm not used to that. But no, my question.
Hey, you need that wrist action, Sean. You need that wrist action.
I could get that. I could get that other ways, Joshy. But no, my question. So with the Gladiator, right? I think they're up to around 5,000-ish for the day. I don't know if anyone in this chat is playing. Where does that put us at, Brian and Sherry, between the other days?
A little bit over 14,000. 14,600. There was 5,110 yesterday, and of course we don't have today's totals. So right now we're at 14,600, not counting today.
Not
So that sounds like 20,000 then in the next few minutes, probably total.
Yeah, probably be north of that. Yeah, that's wild, man. That's just crazy. Is Ruben playing in that?
Which tournament?
The Gladiator.
I don't think so. How many flights are there, and when's the last one?
Today
I believe
is the last flight.
The last flight, yeah.
No, absolutely not. Then he's taking today off, so and respectively so. He is very, very physically, mentally, and emotionally drained from the last 3 days. So
people don't understand how much that takes out of you, playing 12 to 14 hours a day for 3 days. That takes a lot out of you.
He said the worst part was the final table, and it's like the lights and stuff. They're beaming down on you at a very bright amount, and it's it gets really hot in there, under the lights at the table, and you're uncomfortable. And so I think that was the most disruptive for him during those.
Listen, there's a guy named Eden Rocks who teaches people how to be under the lights. Maybe you want him to meet him.
He's a rock star kid, a rock star.
Eden Rocks.
Don't
Eden Rocks.
away.
He hosts alternative spaces. He
I
teaches
would
people how to
rather
behave
eat
under
a
lights.
massive bag of dicks first.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
You're
Hey,
not the
Joshua.
first to say that. You are not the first to say that.
I'm sorry.
Listen, she has been biting her tongue regarding Eden for the last 30 minutes. She's like, I'm not going to say nothing.
Let it go, Wee. Come on. Let's just give us a little entertainment. Let it go.
I wasn't going to give the credit of using the name, but since it got put out there, here we go. I don't know how he's lasted as long as he's lasted in our community. I don't get it. I've been part of this community for years.
You should have seen. At the Horseshoe World Series yesterday, walking down the hallway, I point over. There's a bunch of us going into the room. I go, "Hey, look, it's Jamie Gold." He jumps in front of Jamie Gold and says, "Hey, I'm the Spaces guy. You got to come on. I'm the fucking Spaces guy. You know me. I'm the Spaces guy." In front of Jamie fucking Gold.
Eric, let Wee give her opinion, buddy. Come on, don't cut in.
Oh, man.
I tried to 30 seconds ago, but then she cut in on me. So, yeah.
You want my opinion?
Go for it,
I think that there is a lot of delusion there. I think he might be deluded. And that's putting it mildly. I'm trying not to completely go off here. So I don't know him. I can't really. it's really hard to gauge and like put into words without sounding like a complete cunt.
But
So
you know of his work actually, though. You know how he's insulted certain people that are respected, and
yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. So I've actually never participated in or listened to any of his spaces live, but I've had a handful of times, like post space ending, people will send me clips, just very short clips of shit that's like gone on in his spaces, and it's shocking. It's shocking to me, guys, that people in our community are still giving him any amount of attention. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? And why? Why? You're feeding this man's ego. Stop.
Exactly. I could not agree more than with the words you are saying. And you know what? We got a new speaker up here. And forgive me for not knowing how to pronounce your name. Please tell me how to. Darham?
Just want to say, I love you lots.
You're on mute.
Go ahead and unmute yourself. Haram?
Nope.
Okay, so go ahead, Brian. You wanted to wrap it up. So go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap things up. I want to say, WePro, in listening to you describe the story, I don't think it's just the player that goes through the emotional swings and tiring out. The rails there too, even if it's a virtual rail. So great to hear the story there of your partner's run. Always love to hear like just deep runs like that's. We come to the World Series for that kind of thing. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's a pretty amazing experience, and I am
Thank
like so proud of him. Like, I told him last night, he messaged me and he was like, thank you for like loving me and supporting me, and I love you so much, and I appreciate you like continuing to push me to do more and do better. And I told him that, and he asked me, did I make you proud? And I said, you made me proud when you landed in Vegas. It had nothing to do with him like making a final table of one of these big events. You know, it had nothing to do with him cashing for 6 figures. It had everything to do with him taking those steps to get to where he ended up being in last night. So
awesome. This is what a good woman will do for you, gentlemen. Be
Yes, for sure.
supportive of your
that's
poker.
true. That's
Be
true.
supportive. And we appreciate your time with us this afternoon. And Josh, you know we love you and we appreciate you joining us, and Donna and everybody else. Thank you
Thank
so
you for
you guys
much.
having me
have a
on.
blessed day, and everybody run good.
One last thing,
Thank you,
Neki.
guys.
Thanks for posting 5,107 entrants so far today. So I'm feeling pretty good about my numbers. So we'll see tomorrow if I get there. All
Bye,
right,
y'all.
everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Bye bye.
Bye.